It's crazy, it feels like Go's individual Pokemon have gotten more story in this series than Ash, who's the main character. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 54 of the Journey's anime titled Sobble Impossible just dropped, and in this episode, Go Sobble meets an Inteleon that inspires it to be braver. How's that gonna work out? Well, let's find out. Sobble is scared of everything, we all know that, and this episode begins with everyone in Cerise Park playing ball, only for Sobble to get scared and run away when Go's Darmanitan jumps out of a bush to scare it. As Ash and Go are discussing Sobble inside the lab, Ren comes inside and tells our heroes that he just saw filming of a sequel to the Spy and Sniper movie outside. It's a really popular film according to Go and Ren. It stars a female spy and her Inteleon who are both cool. After hearing about it and seeing some images, both Ash, Go, and Sobble even get interested and decide to go outside to see if they're still filming. So this doesn't have anything to do with the anime, but I'm going to complain a bit about the starters from the recent generation of Pokemon. They all for some reason have a theme, and some work and some really don't. But in most times, I feel like having certain themes for your evolution design limits the design. The Sobble line is supposed to be a spy. That works in this episode when Inteleon is playing a spy, but it doesn't work for it just being a normal Pokemon. I feel like that's why the Gen 8 final evolutions of the starters look so awkward. They're built to fit a theme rather than have a natural evolution from their first and second stages. Anyways, Ash and Go arrive at the filming area and they find the same director from episode 19, the Ditto episode, which is a nice bit of in-universe continuity. They start filming the scene after a bit of indecisiveness from the director who's looking for that bit of spark. In this scene, the spy is getting away from the bad guys but gets caught, only for Inteleon to make the save. However, just as this is happening, a car flies through the area and lands. And of course, even though this isn't part of the script, the director wants them to keep filming. This is the director that really does get it. Who's it in the car but Team Rocket, who are dressed up and act like they're helping the spy. However, the Inteleon knows better, so they expose themselves as Team Rocket. And to counter them, our heroes get involved. The prize master is called in when Team Rocket get a Poochyena and a Houndour, and our heroes call out Pikachu and Cinderace. They dodge a yawn from Poochyena, which hits the director, before Team Rocket notices Sobble and remembers episode 28 and 33 when it cried. So, smartly, they target it by having Poochyena use Scary Face on Sobble, causing it to cry and our heroes to do the same. Team Rocket then go for Ember and Shadow Ball, only to be thwarted by Inteleon and its Snipe Shot. When Sobble sees this, it stops crying. Then the Spy Lady has Inteleon go invisible again and use Snipe Shot to get Team Rocket blasting off. I originally thought the Inteleon was just an actor, but this Inteleon is ridiculously strong. Not only can it go invisible like Sobble, but its Snipe Shot seems to blow Pokemon and people away. That's really impressive. Anyways, since the director got hit by yawn and is asleep, the schedule is freed up for everyone, so when Go and Sobble want to hang out with Inteleon and the spy actress, she's more than willing to oblige. She reminisces on her own Inteleon when it was a Sobble and talks about how it wasn't always this strong. The Inteleon then says something to Sobble which inspires it. And through this inspiration, it looks like Sobble is trying to practice Snipe Shot. However, when Go's Darmanitan jumps behind it again to scare it, even though it tries to summon courage, it can't. Go then says that he will help him train, which makes Sobble feel better. Team Rocket, specifically Jessie on the other hand, is writing out a plan to catch Inteleon since they'll need specific things in order to counter it. I really like this. This shows an intelligent side to Team Rocket, something we don't really get to see often. We know that they are intelligent because they do create their own mechs, however, we never get to see them planning these things out, so it's a nice bit of development. So Go's ready to train, but doesn't really know what to train Sobble with. Ash recommends some battle training since Inteleon was strong, and they tried the traditional battle training for a while, but it clearly isn't working. So Go thinks about what type of style would work for Sobble when an epiphany comes to him. Since Sobble likes to run, maybe that should be the style. It should be one that complements that. In order to train, Go has Sobble hide himself, while Ash, Pikachu, and Cinderace look for Sobble. And even though at first it's easily caught, we see that as it goes on, it's getting better and better at hiding. They train until the evening, and once they're finished for the day, they're walking somewhere down the street when they spot a guy in a net. It's one of the director's assistants. He says that while he was getting food for everyone, Team Rocket popped up and netted him and his Gothita, and they left him a letter saying that if they want to get Gothita back, they would have to go to the certain cave and bring Inteleon there. So our heroes get involved as they always do and tell the guy to tell everyone else, and they'll also go and investigate. They get to the cave, and inside they see robots and drones, but nothing really there to stop them. They then hear Gothita and rush inside, and when they get deep in there, it's inside of a cage. They rush forward only to get caught by Team Rocket's elaborate trap. The only person outside of the trap is Sobble. I swear, Ash has been in these situations 1,000 times. You'd think he would learn to, I don't know, just walk around instead of going straight every time. And Go runs with Ash. You know, if you suspect something's gonna be a trap, why don't you just send one person first and then the second person? Anyways, Team Rockets are the one behind this trap, and funnily enough, they're upset that this time they caught Ash and Go. Why? Well, this entire elaborate trap was to catch Inteleon. The drones and the robots they saw earlier were to get shots of Inteleon, but all they got were shots of Ash, Go, Pikachu, and Cinderace. Now that's pretty funny. However, since they're here, Team Rocket decides they'll grab the Pokemon available here too, starting with Sobble. And this is where the training they just had comes into play. Go tells Sobble that this will be the application of their training, so to start off, it needs to cover itself in water. Once it does that, it becomes invisible, and this is where the training comes in. With it being invisible and Meowth and Wobbuffet not able to see it, all it has to do is attack and dodge, and it is successful in doing that, hitting both Pokemon over and over again. That is until James' secret weapon arrives. Built into this elaborate trap is 2 hands with chalk-filled erasers. It dusts off the eraser, causing chalk to go everywhere and cover Sobble, who's meant to be invisible, and it works! Now, Team Rocket can catch it since it won't attack back, right? Well, earlier when it was with Inteleon probably told it something because it remembers that moment before piping up and attacking Meowth and Wobbuffet before going back into Go's Pokeball. That's right, it's learned U-turn. And with that, it inspires Ash to work together to break the cage, so with Pikachu, Sobble, and Cinderace all attacking the cage, they break through it before a Pyro Ball and a Thunderbolt sends Team Rocket blasting off again. They're then outside as the assistant is reunited with his Gothita, and Ash and Go are given a police report to Jenny. Meanwhile, the director has gotten hold of the Team Rocket footage and looks inspired by it, and Sobble gets praised by Inteleon, making it super happy. The episode ends with Sobble finally getting a little bit of revenge on Darmanitan for scaring it earlier, as the narrator informs us that Sobble now has someone to aspire to. Overall, this is a fun episode. Sobble finally got development after a long time of not getting anything. It now has something to aspire to, and I hope this isn't the last time we see this Inteleon, because I think if the story works similar to the Lana story from Sun and Moon, that would work great. I like that we got to see the planning that goes into Team Rocket's schemes. I also like that Sobble has a unique battle styles from other Pokemon. Every Pokemon seems to have the same similar type of battle style, just straightforward. This one's a bit more unique. My only complaints in this episode are regarding the series, which is why Ash never has any of his other Mons on him, and in this case, it's to make sure that Sobble gets development, which is fine I guess. But the second one is the voice actress of the Spy Lady. Did anyone else find her audio mixing to be off here? She seemed to have recorded her lines in a completely different location than the cast. And I'm talking about the Japanese version, obviously. I'm sure this won't be a problem in the dub release, but I just couldn't help notice this glaring issue. Anyone else felt that way? Other than that, it's a pretty good episode. If you haven't already, check it out. The next episode looks like a Chloe-focused episode, as our heroes are headed to Glimwood, Tangle, and Galar. It also looks like they're gonna meet Opal. I hope there's some sort of setup for Ash and Opal in the future, but I'm not holding my breath. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. But anyways, that is it for my review of episode 54 of the Journeys anime. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this episode. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRealPDGaming, and that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.